Hello and welcome back to Ginger Kid Outdoors. It's been probably at least a good month and a half since I've made any videos. What I've got out today is my latest handgun I just got from Sig Sauer. Now, as you can tell by the size of the box, must be something fairly decent. And what I got out here today is Sig 365 Xmacro. And as you can see, it's just a standard Xmacro variant. And you might be asking, you've probably got one of these, and why is this box so much bigger? Well, coming up next, we're going to go into what all actually came with this model, because this is a TAC Pro edition that is offered by Sig Sauer, or at least it was. I did find this online for roughly around a little under $800 by the time you pay for all your taxes and then the shipping and of course your transfer fees. So next up, we're going to go into what is actually in the box other than just the Xmacro. Okay, so let's go ahead and, as you can see, the size of the box. I'm going to go ahead and go over the Sauer pistol case that comes with the TAC Pro package. Now, of course, in this would have been, it's really top heavy, the Xmacro, and of course I'm keeping a little silicone packet in there so that way it helps kind of dry up any kind of moisture I might get in there, bugs, and a magazine loader. This is going to come in handy. I do like the actual bevel on the magazine loader, because when you're going to load it, you can actually get some decent purchase on it, and you will need these for loading not only the 17 round magazines, but the 21 round magazines. Now, of course, got your little bugs. The Sauer case has provisions for 6 magazine holders up here, and this is basically a part of the case. Now, of course, the TAC Pro package comes with 2 21 round magazines. They, of course, will not come loaded. I'm hopefully getting prepared to go out and do some shooting possibly today. And then 3 of the 17 round magazines. So I kind of want to get another 2 more 17 rounders to kind of fill out the case. And of course, like all other firearms, you're going to have the other stuff that comes with it will of course be your Sig Sauer sticker, the there we go, small and large in the back straps. Now, the Xmacro does have a back strap system to it, similar to like a lot of the other handguns that have back straps. Just a simple pin you push out, and then I think you just either pull it out or kind of like drift it off. I haven't messed with that yet. So the standard Xmacro will have a provision in the back for mounting optics on it, red dots. It's got a green outline in the front with blacked out rear. So I mean, I do like that option. A lot of the other handguns out there will only give you a tritium front sight and no tritium back sight, so I do like that option. And of course, it's got the 3-inch barrel, and this model is not a ported model. I went with the regular 3.7-inch barrel, I should say. Picatinny rail up front, so I will be able to take some of the stuff off of the Hellcat Pro and move it over to this, since this is going to be my primary carry gun. Sig Sauer stuff, Second Amendment, support that literature there. The Sig Sauer manual, of course, for that, and then it comes with 2 posts for mounting red dots, so I will have to read up on that and see what that's all about when I get closer to actually mounting everything over. And of course, there is a nice zippered pouch there. Should probably put these back in there so I don't lose them. Okay, so that is pretty much everything you need to know about the case. If I can zip it back shut here. The other nice thing I will say, it does look like it's got a nice seam or a seal that goes around your zipper, so that way when you go to zip it back shut, it will hopefully help to keep a little bit of rain or anything if you're out on the range on rainy days. So most people don't go out on rainy days, but considering most of what I do is shooting and then promoting rainwear from a Swedish company called Farmer Rain, I am outdoors quite a bit. Doesn't matter if it's raining, mud, you name it, I'm out here in it. So, but again, this is the Sauer case that will come with the TAC Pro package. Next up, I'm going to be going over the little Xmacro here, and I'm going to be comparing it to not only the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro I have, but also the Springfield Armory Echelon full size. So that will be coming up next. Before we get into comparing the pistols, I'd like to take an opportunity to discuss the newest addition to Farmer Rain's website, the shiny red unlined coat. The unlined coat has a little bit longer sleeves on it, so that way you can roll them up. And unrolled there, we got this one rolled up. It is welded as opposed to sewn and taped like the original unlined coat is. I do like that a little bit better because it is a little bit more robust seam then. Like I said, this is a size large, so they're fairly roomy, great for going over top sweatshirts and stuff like that. The size on it is going to be basically down to right above like your knee. So these are available in not only the shiny red here, but it is also available in a shiny black and a shiny blue. They're sticking with shiny colors on the unlined welded coats right now, just because they want something a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more cheerful. So, I mean, usually you're wearing raincoats on real dark, dreary days, so a little bit of color doesn't hurt that. Okay, next up, we're going to go over the handguns. I've got the Xmacro, and we're going to compare that to a Hellcat Pro that I have set up and a Springfield Armory Echelon. So that'll be coming up next. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have the Xmacro. Should grab out one of the 17 round magazines. So we can compare it to not only the Springfield Armory Echelon and the Hellcat Pro. Double check. All guns are clear. That one's a little wet now and clear, so put this over here so that one it's going to get pretty much banished back to the safe. Now, the biggest comparisons I'd like to make before we get into the Echelon is between the Hellcat Pro. This is the Hellcat Pro and this is an Xmacro. So width-wise, they're going to be very similar to one another. The addition of the rear sights having tritium on them is a huge plus over the Hellcat Pro. Now, of course, I've got a lot of additions put on my Hellcat Pro. You can kind of see the grips between the two of them is, if I can hold this up right, your grip on the Xmacro will sit about the same as what the Hellcat Pro does. Now, the only difference is the Hellcat Pro, when the magazine's in it, will sit flush at the bottom of that. So that's one thing to take into consideration when you're looking at running the 17 round, and they are tight. Will sit down lower because of that magazine capacity than what the regular Hellcat Pro will. Now, personally, I don't think that's going to be that bad of a trade-off, considering you're going from 15 rounds to 17 rounds. Now, I'll show you what that looks like in the magazines. So you got the 15 round, I should say, there by Springfield, and then you got a 17 rounder here by Sig. And the magazines are pretty comparable to each other width-wise. Now, the thing that I thought was interesting was the Echelon is a 17 round magazine as well, and you can see that the Echelon is a little bit taller than what the Xmacro is. So you might be thinking, is the size of the handgun going to be that much different? But on their grips, of course, you will see on a full-size Echelon. Now, I don't have any 320s to compare this to, so that'll probably be coming in the future. The Echelon is going to be a little bit longer grip on it, of course, than what the Xmacro does. But just overall size of the handgun is remarkable, how it, when you line it up chamber to chamber, how much smaller, even not only in the back end width, but in the front end it is over what the Echelon is, which of course the Echelon, whole different manufacturing company. But I will say the Hellcat Pro and the Xmacro are fairly similar. The Xmacro is a little bit shorter overall length, but it does have a little bit of a beaver tail back here to help protect you from any slide bite, which I do like that on this X series, the Xmacro. So of course you've got a little bit more texturing. I will say the Hellcat Pro does have the addition of a little texturing on both sides of where your trigger finger is going to sit. And it also does come in handy, so when you're actually gripping it, you can actually have a little bit of indent point there. I do like that. There is no stippling up here on the top half of the grip, but of course, since these grips are not actually serialized, the serialized part is the trigger mechanism in there, similar to what it is with the Echelon and of course the 320 series. Those are all serial numbered trigger components and not the actual frame. So there is no serial numbers that I've seen on the slide or the barrel. It is only the serial number that is on the actual trigger mechanism. The trigger, I call it trigger mechanism. I don't know what the actual correct term is for it, but that's the only serial number part on that. So there again, you can kind of see a little bit of a size comparison between two Springfield Armories and of course the Xmacro. So I mean, I've pretty much bought the Xmacro out of blind faith. Figured out what I wanted for a package, ordered it online, and had it sent to my local FFL. So, but so far, I gotta say, I am really pleased with this gun. So far, I've only shot about 15 rounds through it, so we'll have to do a lot more shooting in the very near future just to kind of go over that some. So. Oh. At least the bugs aren't too bad today, and it's actually a pretty decent day. I haven't been out to do many videos just because the temperature here in Wisconsin has been up at the lows in the mid to upper 80s without any heat index, and then some of the highs were like pretty close to 100, mid to high 90s. So yeah, I only usually film videos on the weekends, and when the weekends are like that, definitely not worth doing too much time outside trying to do any shooting. So I do like the fact that it's overcast too, so today I don't have the sun beating down. But with that being said, I'd like to hopefully do another video coming up soon on doing some shooting with the Xmacro. And like I mentioned, I'm probably going to take the red dot and the light off that and get those on the Xmacro, since I do want to carry this as opposed to not being able to shoot this very well at all. And I've got a M-Carbo trigger in there. I actually replaced the entire cocking mechanism in here and the striker mechanism with the M-Carbo system. I've got a different guide rod in it. I will mention that for the Sig as well. This is the first handgun I've bought in a long time that has an all steel guide rod system to it. There is no plastic sleeves, there's no plastic rod. It's all metal, so I did like to see that. I mean, of course, the Sigs are a little pricey, if you will, but definitely it's, from what I've looked at so far, it's well worth the money. So if you're looking for a decent, not a compact handgun, but it's not really considered like a mid-size, I mean, probably go check out these Xmacros or even a P365 XL. Of course, the Xmacro is part of the P365 family of handguns through Sig Sauer. And with that being said, you can actually get a different grip and slide for this, turn it into the original specifications of the P365. You could get an XL grip, go to a 12-round magazine, a little bit slimmer grip to it, and then they have a Legion version of the X5, not the X5, the Xmacro, and then there's another model, the P365 Fuse. So they've definitely got a lot of offerings in the P365 family, so pretty much if there's something you're looking for in a compact concealable handgun, Sig Sauer is more than likely going to have it in a 365. But that's only if you like the trigger mechanism that's on there. These have a lot of mush and a little bit of a wall, and then kind of almost like a pudding feel to it to actually pull through that wall. So that's about the only complaint I have with it so far, is the trigger. But like anything, dry firing, repetitions on the range, that should hopefully all pull itself out. So hopefully it doesn't turn into the same kind of a mess that I've had so far with this Hellcat Pro. So who knows, maybe I'll learn to shoot this thing and be able to shoot the Hellcat better and have to buy a new red dot and a flashlight to put back on the Hellcat. So time will tell. Other than that, that's going to pretty much do it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope everybody has been doing well, and I hope you get some time to go out and enjoy the outdoors. That will pretty much conclude this for me today.